Drew Barrymore, Rosie O'Donnell, Janet Jackson, Ray Charles, Charles Darwin, Howie Mandel, Walt Disney, Harrison Ford, Anthony Hopkins, Billy Joel, and Robin Williams. What do these famous icons all have in common? They were all diagnosed with a mental illness and led successful lives. It is estimated that 10 to 20% of Canadian youth are affected by mental illness or disorder, the single most disabling group of mental disorders worldwide. A female grade 12 student reported, "School is a stress time, along with relationships, broken hearts, and family. This year has been a stressful one."
Honestly, I felt as though I was the only person on earth that was going through this.
I guess 15 years old or so, I began to demonstrate the symptoms of what's called bipolar disorder.
I gave up sports. I was always in danger of failing high school. I lost about 35 pounds in a little over 2 weeks. Everybody thought I was dying.
It's very difficult to accept. And it can really take over your life and direct you in a path that you could not have imagined that you were going to be going down.
Some mornings I just woke up and I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to socialize. I gave up practically everything that I loved.
I at one point was actually going into the bathrooms in such a state of anxiety that I was probably, I guess, throwing up 3 or 4 times a day.
And for 7 years I suffered with what's known as OCD.
I was in a state of complete chaos most days. I didn't know how I felt. Some days I was very, very low and generally convinced that the entire school system was a catastrophic failure as well as the rest of the world.
All I knew was if I didn't do these weird rituals, I would take an anxiety attack. So how could I have told anybody about this? And I mean, year 2, I became clinically depressed.
I was openly confronted on numerous occasions for missing school. I had people accuse me of not being sick at all, of faking it all just to get out of school.
And the help was there. I just couldn't reach out because I was scared I would end up in a mental institution. I was scared of what my friends would think about me, what the general population would think about me.
I ended up finishing school in a program designed for kids who had their lives disrupted by anything, be it sexual abuse, be it a mental health concern, be it drug addiction, and it was a very long, painful process, but I did it.
People with mental illness and their friends and family often say that the stigma and discrimination they face is actually worse than the illness itself.
It is the same force essentially as racism, homophobia, sexism, all of it. It's just judging someone on one characteristic.
This affects millions upon millions of people.
There are a lot of people suffering in silence who are very frightened and afraid to confront what is going on in their lives.
And I knew if I didn't reach out for help, something I didn't do in 7 years, I knew if I didn't reach out for help, I wouldn't be here today.
Suicide is among the leading causes of death in 15 to 24-year-old Canadians, second only to accidents.
There is a life after high school, and there is a life after an experience with a serious mental illness. The vast majority of people who confront one of these conditions will go on to be absolutely, teetotally normal, productive, contributing members of society.
What we don't talk about, we stigmatize.
Education is the answer.
Stop the secret. Stop the stigma.
Stop the secret. Stop the stigma.
Stop the secret. Stop the stigma.
Recovery is possible.
Recovery is possible.
Recovery is possible.
I don't know what it is to feel that feeling of chaos and fear anymore, that I thought was going to define my entire life.
If I can get through this, so can you.